Sir Ian Duncan-Smith.
Can I just say to the honourable gentleman that even when I was over there, I was opposed to what my government was doing, even though they were only going to go halfway. The truth is, he supported that then. Why has he turned around? And the one point I want to make to him and other colleagues sitting on the bench, the Mauritian government is guilty of vast human rights abuses, locking up other politicians who were independent, and also the black Creole Mauritians were literally traduced by that government. We've handed to them, therefore, the rights over what the Chagosians have never agreed to. So my question to him is really, why was this a rush just before their election? They will use this now to benefit themselves in the re-election process. Why do we do that? To support a disgusting government in league with the Chinese?
I say to the right honourable gentleman, who has immense experience in this House, and this House knows that sometimes across the floor one's able to strike up friendships and we're fellow Spurs supporters, but let me say to him that this is a country that is part of our Commonwealth, and so I can't possibly associate myself with the remarks that he just made.
Nigel Farage.
Thank you. Foreign Secretary, it would appear that the potential judgment, next judgment of a spurious, rather political foreign court matters more than the issue of national sovereignty. But and you boast that President Biden likes this deal. Now, the Speaker earlier on said that this House should not be affected by elections that take place in foreign countries. But I wonder, how confident are you, if the 47th President of the USA becomes Donald Trump, that he will approve of this deal, given the importance of our relationship with America?
Well, I'm grateful to the honourable gentleman for his question. Let me reassure him that we have sought to take views across the US political establishment. But I do say to him, to get a US president, a US Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs and Defence applaud this agreement should reassure him that the US would do nothing that would help our enemies, particularly the Chinese, in this regard.
Tom Tugendhat.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. The old principle that we used to apply was the Wilson principle, the principle of self-determination, that the Foreign Secretary may remember is the defence of the Falkland Islands, the defence of Gibraltar. He's now just violated that principle by undermining the rights of the Chagosian people in favour of a claim that was abandoned in 1965, never really made, because it was only administrative and never properly governed from Mauritius anyway, and in favour of a court whose judgment was advisory. He sold out the sovereignty of the British people. Truly, nobody apart from a boy called Jack has ever made a worse deal on the way to market. He's come back with a handful of beans that he's trying to sell as a prize.
I've got to say, I have always admired the honourable gentleman's eloquence, but I haven't always admired his principles. He was part of the last government. Did he raise this when he was part of the last government? Did he make it a resignation issue? No, he didn't, because he knows we inherited this and we had to make a deal.
Edward Lee.
I don't know how many people actually have visited these islands in this chamber. Well, I went there with the Defence Select Committee 38 years ago. And it was crucial in our whole effort in the Cold War against the Soviet Union. And we never appeased once in that Cold War, and we won it. The question I want to ask, and it's a serious question, is given that Mauritius has a close relationship with China, given that we can't trust a single word the Chinese say with our experience on Hong Kong, given that they are militarising islands all over the Pacific, are we absolutely sure that sometime in the future the Chinese will not exert pressure on the Mauritian government to have a base on these islands?
I've got to say, for such a senior member of the House of Commons, that I've got to tell the honourable gentleman that he should just check his facts a little bit more closely. Mauritius is one of only 2 countries in Africa that has not participated in China's Belt and Road. Mauritius is an ally of India, not China.
Robert Jenrick.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We've just handed sovereign British territory to a small island nation which is an ally of China. Yes. And we are paying for the privilege. Yep. Also that the Foreign Secretary can feel good about himself at his next North London dinner party. In whose interests does he think he serves? Those of the global diplomatic elite or those of the British people and our national interest?
Well, I hope that question may have garnered him a few more votes, but if that's his position, he's unlikely to lead the Conservative Party to victory. This deal secures the base. It is in our national interest. That is why it is a good deal, and I've got to say, that is why the President of the United States, the Defence Secretary in the United States, applaud and welcome this deal. What do they know about global national security that he doesn't?